What's up, beautiful people? It's Ramon here. We got the iPad mini in the house. And take a look at this and see what stands out about this. What makes it special, what makes it not special. So this is the thing Steve Jobs says was dead on arrival. Verbatim, right? He said 7-inch tablets just didn't work well, and then lo and behold, here's Apple with a 7.8-inch tablet. Let me tell you, just from jump, I've been using it for a few days now, and I will tell you that I actually do prefer this to a regular iPad. Now that's a loaded statement, right? Like I haven't been using an iPad for a while. I have my Surface and I'm happy with my Surface. One of the things I really love about my Surface is the 16:9 aspect ratio. And after using something like that, I could never go back to a traditional iPad. But using this, right, the size, it's a little smaller, I find this to be a lot more comfortable and a lot more easy to use, besides obviously the obvious portability. But I find it more easy to use than a traditional iPad. So much so that after you hold a traditional iPad, it feels clumsy next to the mini. I can't, there's been some controversy, if you will, or just bitching and moaning about the lack of a Retina display on this thing. Listen, that's what happens when you sell people things well. They start to complain when it's anything but that. It's just resolution. The screen looks fine. I don't notice any pixels, and I'm sure people say, oh yeah, when you look at a Retina display and you have it on your phone and you have it on your iPad and you look at a mini, the screen's disgusting. Cut it out. The screen works. It looks fine for video. It's fine for reading. I have no problems at all. It is what it is. It has the A5 processor in it, and I think that's the same one in the 3rd gen iPads. It doesn't have much RAM. I think it's only 512, and you can see if I try to scroll really fast, this thing has some performance issues. There you go. It definitely has some performance issues. Not sure what it's doing there, but I find that it's not a terrible device. It's fun to use for, if you've got, I think I have I had some sort of game running around here. I had Temple running this racing game, and the racing game doesn't look too bad. Let me turn this down so it doesn't kill. The racing game, it looks pretty good, but I'm not a big racer, so I can't really say it's good for gaming. It's not. It looked good as hell to me. I could imagine what it looks like on the regular iPad, but listen, this is impressive. You've got pretty much the same app store that you would have on the regular iPad. Now, here's where things start to go. Well, first let me talk about the camera. It's got a 5 megapixel camera in the back, and I wish they'd have gave it the camera from the iPhone 5. But this camera isn't terrible. It does the job. It doesn't validate people running around taking pictures on an iPad. The front-facing camera is a little less than inspiring, but still gets the job done. Especially, you want to do your Google Hangouts, you want to do your FaceTime or your Skype, whatever it is you're into. That'll work fine. It's got the same volume rockers here and the switch, which I love because I pretty much use this switch to lock the orientation of the screen. It's good for when I'm reading. I hate when I'm reading and the thing goes in landscape. That kind of pisses me off. I mentioned reading. I do read. I've got my magazines here, and I read quite a bit on the train. This is where I get my reading done. The design, it's just a smaller iPad. More or less. People, for the price, the price point, there've been some complaining about what this thing. Oh, look at this! It's a fingerprint magnet. I mean, once you understand what this is not a cheaper iPad. It's not meant to compete with the 7-inch tablets from Android or the Nexus 7. It's just a smaller iPad, and Apple definitely priced it as such. You know, it's a premium device. It's premium build. It's solid. It doesn't feel cheap, and you pay for that. You really can't. That's Apple's MO. They do that with every single product they've ever released. So I find it odd that people bitch and moan about the price of this thing. Like, you know, it's up to you. Do you want a big iPad or you want a small one? You want a small one, then pay the price. It's not that big of a deal. You obviously don't want an Android tablet, right? Because you would have went out and bought one. But what for me, when it starts to fall apart, this thing is when I go into the App Store, right, and I search for, well, see that just now what happened? There's some technology because, and the iPad is almost edge to edge the display, so it's awkward to hold in your hand without your hand touching the screen. So they've done some magic, if you will. That's what Apple does, where it sort of ignores finger touches on the edge of the screen, so you can still navigate. But I feel like whatever that is, right, completely screws with the accuracy of the touch on the screen. Look at this. I often tap things like 2 and 3 times before it actually responds. And it's not that the device is lagging. That's something different. It just, the accuracy is somehow screwed up on it. I can't figure out why. I can't put my finger on it. But I suspect it has something to do with that bit of intelligence that they built in to ignore taps on the edge of the screen. But moving on, where the iPad starts to frustrate me, right, is this is immediately what I did. Instagram. Right away, no Instagram for the iPad. iPads have been on the market for years and they still haven't figured this out. I have to go to iPhone. You see the screen tap issue? I have to go to iPhone app to install the iPhone app, and it's like really annoying. So if I look at the app now, oh my god, this thing's annoying. If I look at the app now, look at this. This is 1x, 2x. This annoys the bejesus out of me. It almost makes me not want to use the app. And I tell you the truth, I haven't been using it. And I sorely need Instagram because I have 2 accounts. I have my personal and I have one for the site. And it's so annoying that Instagram doesn't offer, you know, multi-login, but I was hoping I could remedy that with the iPad, but no go. So one, it's still the same problems that exist on the iPad exist on the Mini, and it's so frustrating to see that they haven't addressed these little things. Also annoying, I've got iBooks. I've got some PDFs and some ebooks running around. There's no way to just drag and drop these things on here. And even with the new iTunes, I couldn't figure out what the hell was going on. I ended up having to load these things up on my SkyDrive and then open them in iBook. Like, you'd figure Apple would have a much easier way to do these things by now, but there really isn't. And it's surprising how much iOS fans settle, but they never really say it. They never make these things known. And again, to me, the iPad falls short with simple things like music, because I'm a big subscription music fan. I have Xbox Music. None of that's available on here. So ultimately, it doesn't fit into my ecosystem. But if you're an iOS fan, I think this iPad is a really nice addition to the lineup. Does it feel too big in the hand? No. In comparison, I think the regular iPad definitely feels too big in the hand now, especially if you can get all your gaming and media consumption done on this device. This really opened my eyes to 7-inch tablets. I gotta tell you, I'm a believer in 7-inch tablets after this. My takeaway from this is a 7-inch tablet is the truth, is the way of the future. I would rather see phones not get too big, but tablets get smaller like this, and have that combination work well. But it's all about what you need. Like, I've coming home on a train today, I've watched people pull out their iPads, and it does look cumbersome in such a tight space, like on the commute on train. And I feel like the Mini does a great job at remedying that. In terms of Android, maybe like the Nexus 7 versus the Mini, I probably would have liked the Nexus 7 just as much as the Mini. For me, I went for the Mini because I didn't own any iOS devices, and I was just out of that ecosystem. So I just wanted to keep an eye on the iOS ecosystem. But listen, this is more about 7-inch tablets than it is iPad Mini. If you're an Android guy, get a 7-inch tablet. If you are a iOS person, then get one of these. And I hope Microsoft and Nokia is working on something like this for the Windows Phone or Windows 8, Windows RT world, because this form factor is such a winner. I'm such a big fan of this. After playing with it for a few days, I can't get enough of this. Yeah, but from a 1 to a 5, performance issues aside, and the pricing, because it can get pretty pricey. This thing can get up to about $750 or so. Pricing aside, I give this a solid 4 out of a 5. It could be better in tons of other places, but the form factor and the size just makes this a great device. Leave some comments, because I know you guys will definitely have comments. There's a lot of hate and love for this thing. Leave some comments, let me know what you think, and we'll roll out. Alright? Peace.
LifestylesDefined.com, representing everything you could ever love. Fashion, technology, entertainment, auto, gaming, and so much more. This is more than a blog. This is your lifestyle. LifestyleDefined.com.